Tá?
Now I'll show you Uwada Marash, or hook kick.
Vou mostrar. O golpe Uramoashi.
Although it's not a very common technique in MMA, it is highly effective. It can be executed with either your front or rear leg. I will show it with the rear leg first. Rotating my body, I elevate my knee toward my chest, move my leg around the outside of my opponent's body, and then curl my heel into my target. When you throw this kick using your front leg, you want to first take a small step forward with your rear foot. Again, rotate your body, move your leg around the outside of your opponent's body, and then snap your heel back into your target. So, small step, and then the kick.
Perna da frente. Pequeno step. Pequeno step. Perna de trás. Perna da frente. Pequeno step.
This can be a very sneaky kick, especially when you pretend to throw a low roundhouse kick to your opponent's lead leg. However, instead of actually landing the kick, you board at the last instant, move your leg around to the opposite side of your opponent's body, and then snap your heel into his face. When you do this kick with your lead leg, you can also lower your opponent's lead hand by grabbing it and pulling it down. This makes it very difficult for your opponent to block your kick. So, you lower your opponent's hand, take a small lateral step, and then deliver the kick. It makes your opponent think you're going to kick low, and then you kick high. Now I'm going to show you I Shirudo Udomash, or spinning hook kick. With this attack, it is very important that you use your rotation to generate power for the kick. Unlike the spinning back kick, you let your leg float away from your body. It is an open kick in which you make a circle with your leg. With this kick, you want to strike your target using your heel. You want to connect with the back of your heel. If you make contact with the top of your foot, it will have no power. You must use your heel to ensure that you cause your opponent damage. If you throw this kick as a single strike attack, it has the potential of landing, but your chances of connecting solidly with your target go way up when you throw it after a combination. The first strikes in your combination distracts your opponent and spreads his focus thin, allowing you to sneak the kick in unanswered. It is a very dangerous kick because during your rotation, you generate a lot of momentum, which in turn creates a very forceful impact. When you land it clean, your opponent is guaranteed to be in pain. Now I'll show you He Dunguri. It is considered a double kick because you use both legs, but with the first movement, all you do is lift your knee. In order for it to be effective, you want to lift your knee quite high in your initial movement. So you lift one knee and then execute a front kick with your opposite leg. The first movement is to begin to charge towards your opponent, to get your momentum moving forward and to close the distance. Charge and kick.
chuta.
Charge and kick.
Carrega, chuta.
With the second kick, you can target your opponent's face or stomach. It depends upon the openings available.
Ou no rosto, ou na barriga.
Now we'll show it again.
Tá? Depende onde o local.
Charge your kick by elevating your knee, and then strike. Charge your knee, keep your hips center, move your hips forward, and then kick. It is a very long kick, so you don't want to be in close range with your opponent. Once you elevate your knee, you can kick your opponent's face or stomach. Now we'll demonstrate a kick where you throw it towards the outside of your opponent's body, but then at the last minute, you change its path and kick to the inside of your opponent's body.
É golpe que ele sai aqui, ó, e entra por dentro.
There are two ways to throw this kick. The first method is the kick using the top of your foot and a little bit of your shin. The second method is the kick using the ball of your foot. You can kick using the top of your foot or the ball of your foot.
Usando essa parte do pé. Tem duas formas, certo? Ou bico.
Once you land the kick, you want to get out of the way to avoid a counterattack. Now I'll demonstrate ashibarai, which is a sweeping technique or takedown.
Raspar o adversário ou de derrubar.
It is a simple movement, but in order to be effective with it, you have to use it with proper technique and timing. With this technique, your weapon is the bottom of your foot. You execute the sweep using the bottom of your foot. It can also be executed with either your front or rear foot.
Ou com a perna da frente. De trás.
Back or front.
Ou frente. Mais uma vez.
One more time, back or front.
Ou frente. Perna de trás. Ou frente.
The goal with this technique is to destroy your opponent's base by attacking his front leg. If your opponent has his weight on his front leg, it will be very difficult to sweep him. In order to be effective with the sweep, you must first take his weight off his front leg. To accomplish this, I throw a punch. As he shifts his weight backward to defend against the punch, I execute the sweep and destroy his base. You can also execute this technique with your back foot. If your opponent is close, then you can execute the technique the instant he shifts his weight onto his back leg. If he is farther away from you, I make a small step to close the distance and assume a more dominant angle of attack. I force my opponent to take his weight off his front leg, and then I execute the sweep. Get his weight off his front leg, and then sweep. One more time from another angle. Get the weight off his front leg, and then sweep. When I strike my opponent to get him to shift his weight backward, I can use either my front or rear arm.